Welcome to another episode of the Empowered Place, Empowered Lives podcast. Y'all, today is a very special episode. We got another journey of strength. This one, navigating and healing through fibroids. Y'all, we got Marisha with Embody Fitness. She's a health and wellness coach, y'all. Yes. But before we get into this episode, y'all already know what time it is. Vibe with me, y'all. Welcome to the Empowered Place, Empowered Lives podcast. Yo! Man, I am so excited to have you here in the Empowered Place, Empowered Lives studio. Welcome.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You are quite welcome. So let everybody know who you are before we dive into this conversation.
I am that I am. Um, I am Marisha, health and wellness coach and consultant of Embody Fitness, which covers all dimensions. We want to focus on everything when we are healing. And I was put here to um, do the work of the one who knows it all. And I'm an expression of the Most High. So I just got to show off through the elements of the Most High, and this is me being a part of my assignment, doing my thing.
I love it. I love it. And I'm so glad that you are being intentional about your assignment. So I met her or connected with her when she was being visible and vocal about her 60-day juice journey. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, you already know how me and my mama feel about juice. And we got our whole little family song, got a little juice with the fours going on. Vibes that we started over a year ago, let's say like the end of January into February, and now it's like March. So of a whole new year, March 2024 at the time of this recording. And when I saw 60 days of juicing, I was just like, that is remarkable. But she had to have seen something. She had to have some type of awakening, some type of healing had to take place. Like, what allowed her to keep going on these 60 days? So I kind of want to start with that, and then we're going to take it on back to, where you are right now and what kind of led you to even going on this type of journey. So 60 days. Why 60 days of juicing? What was that all about?
Okay, so juicing is not new to me for one, and I initially just said 10 because that's my favorite number. 10, and also numerically, once you remove the number and get it down to one number, one is also uh, important to me. So I was like, boom, I could do 10 days. Let's do this restart and let's do it before everybody else get into it. Like, get yourself ready. And then I started watching YouTube videos for inspo, and I was looking for black people to who was doing it. Like, they could have been doing it more than 10 days. They could have been doing it, whatever. I was just looking to see somebody look like me. I was like, where's my community? I said, yeah, these other people are cool, but I want to see somebody that look like me. And God gave me the double blessing and was like, I'm gonna show you two people. And it was a couple, um, double Dutch aerobics. They're on Instagram and all their platforms, husband and wife, and they did 60 days. And mind you, I had already went through countless videos already of other people who did 60, but me seeing them, I was like, okay, you know what? I said, let me do this 10 days at a time because that sounds astronomical. That sounds like 100 days to me. And I got to 10 days, and then I got a Nama C2 juicer on the shoot, no, that was on a 20 something day. But anyway, the Nama C2 came along around I got past the 10-day mark. I was like, okay, this is nothing. I feel like I could keep going. And then I got to the like 20 something day and my Nama C2 came. I was like, I'll be disrespectful if I stop at day 30. I gotta really run this. I gotta get the money I done invested into this out of this baby right now. So let's go. And then it was turbo time. Yep.
So what about that couple that did it for 60 days really just made you say, all right, I'm ready to dive in. I'm diving in. I'm diving in. What was it? Hey.
Um, the fact that they had never done 60 days before either. They
Okay.
initially started thinking kind of the same footsteps that I was following, where they set out for like 10 days or so, and then they started watching inspo and they saw people doing it for 300 days and 80 days, and they was like, well, we could do it for 30. And then they got to 30, they said, well, we could do another 30. And I was like, okay. And then they both were dealing with different ailments, because
Mhm.
amongst our community, this is why I said it was important for me to find somebody that looked like me, because it's more relatable with reversing stuff without involving the white jackets. So both of them reversed some things with doing this juicing journey. And also, it was finding support, because although I have family that's into the health regimen and doing stuff, is nothing like being around people who are doing almost exactly what you are doing or experienced it, because you like, all right, they made it to the other side of the rainbow. Let's keep on trucking through this rain, because you're gonna see that rainbow too, type energy. And that was like really what pushed me. It was hearing them say, I'm gonna do this, but now I'm gonna push myself to go extra, watching the videos and then them doing it, and then I'm also reversing ailments. So it was just like, okay, this is God was like, all right, you need some here. I'm gonna pour it on you some. Really make sure you know you need to do this. Here you go. Here. Hit it with the card. Hit it with the card. Hit it with the card. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like it. So let me ask you a next question, and we're going to get back into the juicer and the investment, because I thought that's something I really want to dive a little bit more into, because I see that question come up a lot, and I know that's something
Mm-hmm.
that people kind of wrestle with a little bit, or struggle with making that investment into a good quality juicer, to go on that healing
Mm-hmm.
journey to reverse ailments. So what was it for you? What was the ailment that you wanted to reverse, or you were inspired to reverse or kick up a notch in order to heal within your own body when you were considering this juice fast, or cleanse, I should say?
Um, it was to heal womb trauma, WOMB, womb trauma. Um, Dealing with the whole fibroid matter, because I don't necessarily say I am or I have. So the fibroids that exist, the rest of them, they got to get broomed, swept out. So, I'm a foodie, and my body is psychologically like, you got the good and the not so good. I don't even want to say bad, but the not so good is the comfort. It's like, oh no, girl, come on, you be good. Like I'm gonna keep these things over here on low. They're not gonna help. They're not gonna harm you. But just go and eat that. Go ahead and do that. You got that. And I just wound up beating that inside voice, and I was just like, no, I'm gonna really clean up on y'all this time, and I'm gonna show you guys that I mean business. And I also wanted to negate away from the positive bond that I had with these foods that were assisting these ailments to stay around longer. Because it's just like having a roommate. I never had a, besides my sister, I never had a stranger roommate, I'm gonna say, where, they invite people over. You don't want to be dealing with nobody sometime. So that type of energy, it was like the comfort side of me kept inviting these ailments to stay. And me, I was just like, it's time to go. Y'all gotta go. So I was like, all right, you know what? Let me do the juicing. And that's really where it was. It was like, I'm gonna show my body that I mean business this time. And they're like, damn son, we gotta go. She mean business this time. She not playing. She done drew 60 days. This girl like eating, drew 60 days. Nah, y'all gotta go now. Y'all gotta go. Yep.
I
I hope I answered it.
absolutely love that. You definitely answered that. I got you. I got you. You
Okay.
definitely answered that, because it was bigger than just a physical journey with you. The biggest part that I took away from that, though, was that you were breaking bonds with foods that provided comfort for your ailments. And I think that's what a lot of people struggle with, is breaking their bonds with foods that are continuing to provide them with the symptoms and the issues and the feelings and the thought processes and the beliefs that they continuously have every single day. And they don't realize that it's the power of the foods and their relationship with the food that's allowing them to continue to be in the place that they're in now. And I
Yep.
don't want us to take it
Yep.
lightly, because we know that relationships with food is serious and food addiction is real.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Eating disorders and
Yes.
issues are real. We're not saying that you should just go on 60 days of juicing and that's what's, medically what we're prescribing to you. No, we're just telling you the power that food has to either help you or heal you. And it's your journey, your research, and your decision to
Right.
decide what's best for you. And I love that you trusted your body,
Absolutely.
and you knew enough about your body and you knew enough spiritually within yourself that you had to do something to change and disrupt the wound trauma you were going to
Mm-hmm.
really heal on a whole different level. And
Yes.
I know that this wasn't your first step
Absolutely.
in healing at all. So now let's take it back. Let's take it back to, like you said, this wasn't your first time with, juicing or trying something different to heal. Let's take it. Let's take it. Let's take it all the way back. I don't know.
Let's
Let's take
take
it
it back to the old school.
Hey, because we not old foods or eating the old foods. Hey, come on. So
Bars.
take it back. Where did this all begin? Where did you start going an intentional journey to heal and start realizing the power of food and start making some changes? What did that look like? How far back does that go? And why did you
It
might
all
start
s-
making
it all started in let's see. It all started in 19, let me stop. Um okay, so seriously, it started in um I want to say 2011.
Okay.
I grew up being a true athlete, right? And I stopped running track in my college years, but I was still eating like things were moving. And then I got the heaviest in my life in 2012. And well, the end of 2011, I was like, who is this girl? Like, I didn't even recognize myself in pictures. So, um, I wanted to initiate some changes come 2012, and I started to remove some animals from my diet. Um, and simultaneously, I was bored with food. So I was tired of the repetitious eat this Monday, Tuesday, eat this Wednesday, Thursday, fish Friday, this Saturday, repeat Sunday, and then keep going and going. I was just like, so on top of that, with me getting big, I was like, okay, this is perfect time to make a change. You know how to move around. Um, and then the fruit icing on the fruit cake was my grandmother seeing her deplete
Mm,
and transition and wither away at a rapid pace. And I saw it growing up. You listen to things, but then you have that what's that show? That's So Raven, where you like, oh snap, this was happening all the time, and then I didn't even catch that. I'm tight to myself. So growing up, I saw her, she would give herself injection shots or whatever for that whole diabetic thing. Um, and in my family, we would go out and we would like roll up to drive through at Wendy's or something, and they were like, oh, tell her you shouldn't be eating that. But I'm like, how are we in the car telling her not to eat that, but she hungry and then we all eating it around her? Like, what is what's happening, right? So, fast forward to her transitioning, that was that locked me in to change up my life. She was 72 and I was 27 at the time, and I was one of the last, if not the last, grandchild to see her in the hospital alive in her right space and mind. And I felt like that was the universe and God saying, here's your point of change right now. Um, do you want to look like this? Do you want to go down this route? Because there's no cap of, oh, you're going to wait till your 70s to look like this. You could get this right now. And you already know that because I had some high school friends that transitioned from kidney issues and they was eating crazy and doing a whole bunch of stuff. So I was like, oh, this is my red flag. I don't need it to happen to me. I will make the changes. And that's where, I just started evolving and changing up, moving one thing out for 30 days. And then I kept going. Then the next thing, another 30 days. And I was like, oh, I feel amazing. Let me just keep going and incorporating working out more, um, and reading and just applying. And then also just same thing I'm doing now, but at grade level one, I'm going to say, because it's a whole school thing to me, where you're always learning and teaching. So, yep,
So, what were
that
those
was it.
issues that kind of really opened your eyes that your grandma was experiencing at a younger age? Because it might be something that we're commonly seeing in our own families or in our own communities. So, I kind of wanted to know a little bit more about that. But something that you hit on that I loved was the fact that you said, this could happen to me now. I don't have to wait until I get older. Anything could happen to me now when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to health. And so I should be intentional about what I'm doing now and making conscious decisions about how I show up and care for myself and love myself. Because I too felt like that. Like in your 20s, you feel invincible.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can do whatever. You can drink whatever, smoke whatever, eat whatever, put anything, like there's moderation while I'm still young. And then you get in your 30s and you're starting to see all of these different conditions and issues kind of creep up on you or shock you, and you're like, wait a minute, what is this issue? I'm having a thyroid problem, I'm having womb issues, I have these cysts all over the place. Wait, what is going on? When all of those things took time to build and fester and make a home inside of your body based on what you were feeding it, what
Yes.
the energy you wasn't letting go of, not being able to manage stress. So it was so much because we thought it was okay because we were young. So I wanted to just give you your flowers, shine a little light on that part of your story in case somebody missed that. But I really want to know, what are some of those things that you saw for your grandma that was a red flag enough for you to take action? Because so many times we see multiple red flags and we keep pushing past them. But it comes to a point where you say, enough is enough. Now I'm ready to make a change.
And okay, so I'm gonna try to incorporate a whole bunch of stuff because you nailed, like, you just hit some stuff. You hit some stuff. So that so Raven moment thing to me was like spirit, like, here's another reminder. And it was like, oh, like I remember because I'm what is the word I want to use? Like revolving around an issue again. I'm like, why am I remembering this? Like I kept having these moments. And um I feel like, our communities think that dis-ease just comes and goes, hey, surprise, I'm here in your 30s. Girl, no, they've been rocking since you was probably came out your mama's womb because whatever she was eating or whatever your father was eating when they procreated you. Okay. And people think, oh, my child broke out with eczema because of this. No, it was you and the other DNA that helped bring the DNA to this earth side that made that child come out that way. So don't be blaming this, oh, the universe. Just no, you are the cause of what you cause. Um, the diseases and the things that run through, like people like to say, that run through the family is the diabetes, the kidney issues, the high blood pressure, um, heart issues, breathing issues, this asthma, this eczema, this. We got allergies for this. We have a family reunion every year on my mom's side. Um, and we used to give out, well, we still do folders and things on how to prevent stuff, right? But the oxymoron to me was because I always try to see the light in everything. So granted, they gave the folder with the pamphlet on how you can reverse stuff, but here we go eating an array of food at this reunion that's gonna bring us back to that point of what you're talking about in that folder. And are we really trying to move forward? Or are we just doing this because we want to just cover all points so we could keep everybody quiet at the reunion? Because guess what? I'll walk around the reunion like this. I was just like, I don't want it. Nope. I bring my own lunchbox. They're like, oh, what are you bringing stuff for? Because Well, I said, well, y'all not trying to feed me. I said, because y'all know I don't eat this stuff. So no, I don't want it. But
I think that's
the
dope.
issues were repetitive. I'm like, how we just went to this cousin's funeral. Thank you. We went to a cousin's funeral and now we eating this again. They're like, yeah, no, I don't like, I don't know. And the word you mentioned, moderation, I am only for moderation when you are eliminating stuff, not when you want to keep eating it. So, like, if you are alcoholic, right? I'm not pro no drink or whatever, but if you go from 7 days of drinking to 6 days, that is progress, and that is the moderation I like to see. Not you still drinking 7 days straight and then moderately having a sip, 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 sip. No, the point is to eliminate. So I'm definitely, so like saying the word moderation to me is like, oh yeah, let's go have a little crack. If I say that, you look at me crazy, but I feel like everything that you have an addiction to, you need to move it from your space and not have no type of moderation because guess what? A recovering alcoholic, if they have a sip of alcohol, it's over for them. They're gonna flip back into them habits and start drinking, and it's over because of that one sip. But you see, like you said, some people don't correlate stuff until it's happening to them. Oh, well, I'm young and it's not going to happen to me. God bless you. And the universe will deal with you because you were introduced with a message and um, how you take it is your business. I did my part and I'm gonna get my karma on this side. But yeah, yeah,
I
I was this
absolutely
easy's
love
girl.
that at your family reunions, y'all provide like health prevention folders. I've never heard anyone do that, even though it's kind of
Thank you.
um, you kind of give prevention folders, but then the healthy habits you're not addressing or providing in that space to encourage what's in the folder. So I think the awareness piece is definitely there for your family, and I've never seen that happen before. This is what our family typically sees. This is what we should do differently. I think what would make that ideal would be having the prevention folder with embracing them with a whole bunch of foods that would actually help reverse the symptoms revolving around those chronic issues. But I'm glad that you hit on the diabetes and the kidney issues
Yes.
and stuff that you talked about in regards to what you were seeing in your family.
I just want to
Oh,
interject that
go ahead.
on more the latter years, they have been including some options now because I have been more vocal, and a few other people have been more vocal. Or maybe some people like they still eat fish. They'll do fried fish, but they like y'all gotta have some pescatarian options there. Y'all gotta have vegan options there. Y'all gotta have salad. And guess what? All the meat eaters are eating. Guess what they eating? They eating the rabbit food. They coming for the Brussels sprouts, the asparagus, and the salad. That's all there. Now, which is a very good thing. But I told my family, I said, see, when you provide it, people eat it. Y'all say people don't eat it, but what food is going? I said, y'all throwing away burgers and hot dogs because y'all just wanted to give them their credit. Wanted to give them their credit.
I'm glad. I'm glad that you're giving them their credit. And that's my thing when it comes to food. Just because food is good for you doesn't mean that food can't still taste good and be good food experiences. Because, like you said, we're both foodies and we absolutely love it. And I think that's what I love showing the most out there in the public is like what I'm eating because it's still like anti inflammatory. It's good. It makes me feel good, and it's still possible to have good food experiences. So I'm glad that y'all are providing those options to people who are starting to get a little bit more ready with engaging into those foods that are of higher nutrients that will better serve and align with their higher self. So I like that. So you start getting into foods and oh, another thing I really like when you said moderation is for people who are trying to eliminate something, not people who just want less of it as they continue to consume and engage in it. So I love that. So I think that's a very good point to make when you're talking about doing things in moderation. When you're
Right.
getting away from things, you're eliminating it from your everyday flow or your consistent lifestyle, you're removing it. So every now and then you might have something because you're not trying to have it at all or not much at all versus just less of it over time. So I
Mm-hmm.
like that. So that was beautiful. Thank you for hitting that, health and wellness coach. So you said you started
Right.
taking things out over time. Every month you're taking something out and embracing something else. You talked about being a track and field athlete earlier. Movement. Let's talk about movement because we got into the food some. Let's talk about movement. What movement did you kind of engage in? Because I know for me,
Mm-hmm.
I used to dance. And so it was easy for me naturally growing up because I was always active. Like you said, you were always active when you were an athlete in school. But once you stop doing those regular forms of activity, your body starts to show you what it can really do when you're not moving it all as much. Talk about some of those forms of
Mm-hmm.
movement that you enjoy doing or that you explored into to keep things fun.
Okay. So I definitely include dance as on the athlete side. Athletes, how do you say that? The athletic side. Let me say that. Because I was also dancing simultaneously doing track and field and dancing growing up. So I'm a professional dancer, not to the spectrum of Vivian Banks, Well, yeah, you know what? I can say that because I have done with the Alvin Ailey and the off Broadway shows with different companies that I work with, and I've taught. I was a teacher, a dance teacher as well for over 20 years, um, and have done different things at family functions or on my own, and I definitely love and enjoy it. And I've done a gazillion genres, some of them that I can't even call off top now because if they have like a New York City Dance Week where you can try different things throughout New York. So I tapped into different genres then. Um, but dance definitely played a big role for me. I did the cardio dance classes. And I know a lot of times people are ashamed when they start their journey. They're like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym. Like they got to get ready to go to the gym. But I would incorporate working out. Um, and my schedule at one point, I was 6 days a week dance teacher, and I had a middle block, meaning that I started in the middle of the day. So I got up early in the AM, did a workout, went to work and danced, came back home, bust out another workout, and I was doing that like 5 or 6. Well, the dancing was 6, but I was working out about 5 to 6 days. So twice a day. And then also changing up what I was consuming um, was adding to the weight loss. So within 10 months, I went from like 217 to 170 75, 77, something like that. Um, and then I would change up my rhythm, the same kind of motion that I do now. I work out at home, then I go to the gym, I'll go out, utilize nature, um, do a dance class. Like I said from the top, I don't just focus on one dimension. And if you and now it's actually hard to focus on one dimension, even if you try to, because guess what? If you're working out, your urge to come in the kitchen and eat crazy, at least I don't see it. You're gonna be like, what should I eat? I just did a great workout. I feel like burgers and fries. No, you don't. I don't think that correlates and connects. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, I just did this workout. Let me eat this salad. Let me put this together. It connects without you even having to think about it. Same thing with uh like feeling upbeat, right? You get around people, you like, damn girl, why you so pissed? They like, well, why you so happy? Well, I just did a workout. I ate my salad. Like your energy is different. So it all starts becoming like a train and you got your train cars connected. So if you resist that, that's you intentionally doing that. But it was happening for me organically and I was also being intentional paying attention to it when I initially started with transitioning, but I was moving in all realms. And I kept that pattern for a good while because then I started training people. I became a certified trainer for a short time. But I realized I don't need no paper to tell me that I need to be a trainer. I could just do that. But that's me. So whoever's watching, if y'all, you go your route, peace to you. But I'm not waiting for no paper now for somebody to tell me what I could tell somebody without having to pay to be told that I have to tell them. Tongue tie. I know that was a big tongue tie,
Agree.
but yeah.
Because from going from 218 to 173, seeing the health issues in your family, reading the books, making the changes over the month, you qualify yourself because you know what has worked for you, what you've been able to do for yourself. So you don't need a paper to tell you what you need to do, how to
Amen.
make things happen. I think ultimately you are your biggest testimony. No test other than what you've been able to overcome within your own journey can certify you to do what it is that you're able to do continuously for yourself or for anyone who feels drawn to you and attracted to you to guide them through their own healing process or journey when it comes to that. And I want to get into that aspect. Before we do that, 218 to 173, I don't want you to go too fast over that. You talked about moving and having fun, creating yourself a routine, talking about dancing. And I love that you were able to do so much with dance because that was my first love before I even knew what love was dance. But the meal prep, when it comes to being able to go from 218 pounds to 173 over, I think you said what was about like 10 months. What did that look
Hmm.
like for you when it comes to planning out your meals? Because you already said you were done with being bored with the mundane of every single day. You already kind of had a routine of what you were planning to eat or experiencing to eat. Talk a little bit about the meal prep. How do you approach meal prep in order for you to be successful to continue to stay on the journey that you're on?
A lot of times I had the real fast food ready, like the fruits and the veggies. I had that fast food ready for me. So when temptation came about, I would have that on deck. So I would cut up the grapes, the strawberries, the pineapples, and separate them, or I'll have whole fruits on the shelf, like an orange, a grapefruit. And I will also walk with those things, even if I didn't plan on eating it, because I said if I come out in these streets and I get hungry, you got to eat this here in this bag before you even think of even touching that, right? So I had the grapefruits, I had everything ready for me, cut them up, put them in little Ziploc bags so I could just grab them. So if I catch myself outside after eating whatever it is I prepped, I could still have that extra something to satiate me. Um, but 9 out of 10 times, I was mostly prepping the fruit, and then I would get up and prep um, the food more so. So the fruit would be for like a whole 7 days. I could do that because it take time to cut and wash all that. But the food for me, I would do like 2 to 3 days at a time, and I would also be accountable with posting it. So I'm very competitive with myself. I'm very competitive. Period. Like I'm board games, anything. It's Family Feud, Fast Money time for me. So I would post the food so that I could be accountable with eating it because now if I post it, you're gonna look for my body to look a certain way. Because I'm like, wait, she posted this meal prep. Why she still big? Why she still look crazy? What's going on? So now it's all on. It's a paper trail for me to prep it because I know people are gonna look forward to the post. So it was just a part of the assignment for me. Going back to that again with um being mindful of what I'm consuming. I'll have pictures of my fruit, little side snacks, nuts, whatever it is. I will portion stuff too ahead of time. So like if I had, how you could get stuff from Costco with the big size, you could really just go to town and eat whatever. So as soon as I got home, I would read the back of the label, um, and I would go according to however they say the serving size was, and I'm like, all right, let me get these Ziploc bags here and fix them. So even if I did indulge, I would be. I can't blame nobody but myself because now I done separated and have this thing set up for 10 servings, and here I go through 5 of them. So now I'm just like, oh. So, because if I eat out the bag, I'm not going to be able to be mindful of what I'm doing. It's like, oh, it's one more chip, one more chip. No, now I got the serving set up. So if I'm pulling 5 bags and then 5 are gone, I done lost my marbles. I'm like, you need to calm down. So, um, but just having the stuff prepped that I could ahead of time, I would. I was mindful of steaming stuff. I was mindful of how I cooked everything. Having raw dishes outside of the fruits that I prepped. Drinking a lot of water, drinking a lot of juice, nothing processed. If just being reading my labels. If it was high in sodium or if it had more than 10 ingredients that I couldn't pronounce, I was putting it back. Even if I could pronounce it, if it sounded like it belonged in a lab, I was putting it back. So I was applying what I learned on me so that anybody who tried to call me out, I'm like, well, I do it to myself. So what you talking about?
I got you.
And that also
I
made
love
me move forward with
that.
eliminate. Mhm.
Oh no, go ahead. I think it was a slight lag.
Keep going.
Oh no, I was going to ask you about
Okay.
the raw dishes,
Um,
because I absolutely love that you
okay.
talked about the real fast food,
My
and I
bad.
think that was a secret hack. And the secret hack was to have those fruits on hand, ready to go, and with you as you go, so you're not as tempted. And it's like, eat what I have now, and then if I still feel like I need something, then that's when I start making that decision process and walk through whether or not I need to have it. And I think that was spot on because I love it. It was definitely a hack to meal prep, as well as 2 to 3 days when it came to food, like prepping it. Because sometimes, like me, I'm just being honest. I like to know on Sunday what I plan to have for the week. Now, I might not plan it all, prepare it all right there on Sunday, but at least I know this is what I'm
Okay.
going to have Monday, Tuesday. By Wednesday, this is going to be gone. I'm going to have to do something else or put this in the crock
Right.
pot. Kind of have things kind of laid out by Sunday, have the whole plan there, but not necessarily have everything prepared. But I like that, carrying that
Yes.
real fast food with you.
Yes.
I thought that was clutch too with the serving size to know, okay, I done overdid it. I'm doing too much. Just supposed to last me a certain amount. This is the serving size. So I'm glad that you hit that too. But tell me a little bit more about your raw dishes. And then I want you to go into how you timed yourself with eating. Did you just eat all the time? Did you cut off the time that you started eating? I know people talk about the circadian rhythm. Like, what did that look like for you? Because you had to be very strategic in order to really see, one, your healing, two, the unnecessary weight come off of you by doing these things that you're doing.
So I followed the circadian rhythm, uh, like I was teeter-totter with it. So when I was initially first tapering off eating late, if I needed to eat past 8 o'clock, I was eating lighter. So I would do, like I said, the veggies or some fruit after. If I still wanted to have some type of something going on. Um, my raw then or live foods was um did I eat carrots then? Yeah, I was doing the carrots and the hummus, bell peppers. That was a crunch for me. So if I needed to have that potato chip crunch, I was busting out them bell peppers. Red was my most favorite, and it still is. And I'm saying was like I don't eat it no more. The bell peppers, the cucumbers, all the little finger foods, I would have those. And I would have my salads. I would have seeds and nuts and stuff to add to my salads to give me the omegas and all the stuff that people think you can't get because you don't have any animals in your life. Um, and I would have the lettuce, different lettuce, purple cabbage, the green cabbage, romaine, all that prepped up already in like Ziploc bags so I could just grab it, put it in a bowl. So I would wash that ahead of time, maybe 2, 3 days ahead, and have that big bulk of a salad. Um, Olives, little add-ins and stuff. So I would have a big salad. And if I was cooking, I would again that competitiveness with me was all right, eat your fruit and your salad And then if you want to have something hot after that, if after all of that, then you can have it. So some days I did. Or some days if I didn't have the salad, I was doing steamed cabbage with some mushrooms, sauteed mushrooms, or broccoli. Or if I got caught in the streets, which sometimes it was happening, I was still messing with the Chinaman in the beginning, but it was like selective. I'm like, let me see how y'all clean it here. Yeah, I don't want it. No, I would do like the stir fry from them, but they measure their food. I mean, they are on point with their measurements. That's why those spoons that they use in restaurants, they know that's a full cup. I used to be a part of Weight Watchers, and I would measure my food, and I'm like, dang, these people got to the science is really down. It's no over. It's nothing over it. So their shrimp and broccoli or their chicken and broccoli it was 2 cups with the a heaping amount of rice. So if I ate out like that, I would be at somebody's house. I'm like, you got a measuring cup? I would take out the white rice if they put it in the big platter, and I would put it in the measuring cup so that I can measure out 1 cup. But if I had control of it most of the time, which I did, those little containers that they put it in, the rice where they put on the side, that's 1 cup. So if I did the brown rice, they put it there. So I was like, all right, boom, this is measured out. This is me being accountable. I'm eating fast, crap, but I'm still being super mindful. I tell them, don't put no sauce on it. I didn't even use it. Um, I would make it the best healthy alternative that I could if I could not control how I was making it. Did I answer that? I feel like I be going off
I
sometimes with these
think
answers.
no. You were telling me about your raw
But the raw,
dishes,
yeah, the
and you
raw
said
stuff.
your was the bell peppers and the carrots.
Okay.
And then you're talking about like your seeds and stuff to put in your salad. So you definitely went in on that, and you were talking about the circadian. You started with the
Yeah.
circadian rhythm. I love that you said that you went to the Chinese man for like the stir fry. I absolutely love the one thing I get at the Chinese restaurants now. Still, being mindful, and I'm still on my journey as well. And it's your journey, so you have to navigate it the best way you can. What I love most from them is like rice noodles and vegetables. No soy, no eggs, no anything else. So I keep it simple, but it is so good to me. And then I also love that some might be some Chinese restaurants. I don't know about all of them, but the one I go to, they don't overcook their vegetables. And that's a big thing. So many of us overcook our vegetables that we miss out on so much of the nutrients because they're all cooked out, and they don't. Like, I still got good crunch in my carrots, my broccoli, the zucchini, like
Hmm.
the onions, like everything in it is still like they know what they're doing at egg roll in, where I go when it comes to that. Now, when it comes to like how they're cleaning and keeping everything prepared, you can't always see all of those things, which is why you have to be mindful of how much eating out you're doing versus preparing your foods in home, which that is sometimes the shift as well when it comes to that lifestyle. You're not eating out as much because you want to have control and you want to be conscious about what it is that you're actually putting in your body. So that you answered it. You definitely did answer it. We
Yes.
talked about the circadian rhythm, a little bit on when you were eating and how you were eating. And I love that you hit that you used to be on Weight Watchers and you were holding yourself accountable to measurements. So we're in this healthcare facility and they're talking to you about a diagnosis and what's going on in your
Hmm.
body originally. Let's get to that part of the journey of how you had to advocate for yourself as you were getting knowledge and awareness of what was going on in your body for you to start navigating your healing journey yourself. What did that look like? Where did that start, and how was that healthcare journey for you as a Black woman in America with womb issues?
Hmm. So prior to, I'm gonna give a pre-story, but without before the diagnosis stuff. So growing up, I would have severe cramping, and I would basically go on a 24-hour fast of throwing up because I couldn't keep anything down when my cramps came. And my mom and myself that it was dairy initially that was giving me the pound town. I had to have a prescription of pills to help with pain at the age of 13 because the pain was so severe. And fast forward to like my latter years and my teen years, I was always doing cheese pizza, cheese fries, cheeseburgers, cheese, grilled cheese, macaroni and cheese, everything cheese, right? And then I would skip a month on purpose. Mother's like, skip a month and see how what's gonna happen if you take the dairy out. And then I was like skipping in the land of daisies, like no cramps. And then I introduced it back, and it was just like bam, 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 bam. Lay your ass down. And I was like, okay, we figured it out. It was dairy, right? So I didn't eliminate it then, but I knew what it was. I started to moderately remove it from my diet. So I knew that, okay, what times of the year do I really want to have it? Because I was still eating mac and cheese in my early teens. I didn't stop like the whole stuff until my late 20s. So I was like, all right, I could have dairy toward the end of the year. Well, we got to take a break right now, Marisha, because this is like, you don't want to miss out on your summer days and hanging out and going on these trips because of this dairy, right? So now fast forward to me going to the doctor. Um, and initially, again, these that's so Raven moments. They say things and do things at a certain time to try to scare you. And I feel like, oh, you just have benign cyst. You're fine. There nothing's going on. You'll be fine. That's it. You're doing a great job of taking care of yourself. Da, da, da. And all of a sudden, these cysts turn into fibroids. Ma'am, 1 + 1 = 2, and you not adding up right now. You lying. And maybe because I look young, you think I'm not going, use my mind and really sit down and think about what you're saying to me. Because how was I so healthy and doing so great, and you didn't have no signs of anything and see anything and feel anything, and now all of a sudden it's Miss Marisha, I'm sorry, but you have, and here's your options. Your only options is to have surgery if you want to have children and you want to live a happy life. And I completely shut her down. I was like, no, we're not having this conversation. I'm gonna tell you one time, don't tell me about no surgery. I'm gonna leave this office and I'm gonna do everything the holistic way. And then my doctors were Asian. So I was like, and I know you and your family know how to take care of yourself. So don't sit here and try to spit this, oh, surgery is the only way type energy. So I want to hear it. And um, I had a sonogram or ultrasound, whatever they call it, transvaginal ultrasound and a sonogram to see stuff, what was going on. And then fast forward, I changed to another Asian doctor, and I guess she probably wasn't looking at my history either because she too tried to scare me and called me after getting another session done with the whole sonogram from these specialists. It's like, oh, Miss Marisha, I have to tell you something. Are you sitting down? I'm like, Miss, can you go ahead and talk? And she told me, and I went and looked back at my records. And now, although I can pronounce it, but I can't say it as fast as how I say my name, but I can read it and see it. So I underlined everything and I saw, I kept comparing it. And I was like, okay, there's 8, I'm counting 8 over here, and I'm counting 4 here. I say, so now sometimes my sarcasm will pump my brakes. So I'm like, all right, so 8 - 4, it equal 4, right? And I'm talking to myself. I'm like, equal 4, right? So I don't have more of what this lady's saying. I'm like, she was lying to me. Like I'm going back and forth talking. I'm like, all right, bet. I sent a picture to my mom and my sister. I'm like, y'all count these words and y'all tell me how many of them y'all see. And let the picture left, y'all see 8. The picture right, y'all see 4. Okay. So I played stupid with her. I wanted to call her back and cuss her out, but I did not. And when I had the next appointment, I told her, so you told me I had more, but I didn't. I said, because you probably thought I didn't have my history from prior to, but I did. And what I'm doing is working. And I said, I don't even associate I and having anything anyway, but I said, you probably don't understand that. And she got a little spooked because, black woman talking with her hands and being, assertive and knowing what she's saying, like you said, advocate, is intimidating, especially to these doctors, because they feel like their white coats are gonna scare you and make you be mute. And she knew, like she also found out the hard way to write, don't say anything to her about surgery. Don't say anything to her about it. Don't say anything about medicine, none of that. So that was the journey with finding out about it. And I said, okay, like when they tell me, and I'm like, what you say, talking to spirit, I'm like, I know what they say is not final because I know the Noah who knows all. And here I am taking care of myself still and still walking around telling women who I know, like right now, who suffered child loss because of fibroids and I'm like, change your diet. And they won't do it because back to what we were talking about from the beginning, the emotional bond with the foods. They drink, they eating, they doing all of this. I said, you the common denominator in all these issues, but you're not changing. So I've done my part. I'm a living, walking, breathing, being the change of what I seek. And I'm telling you what's happening, how you can reverse it, and you still don't want to do it. So peace be with you.
I thank you for sharing your journey. I'm grateful that you were able to, like you said, be an advocate, and you knew that you just took the information that they gave you and you went ahead and you found power within yourself to decide how you're going to go on this healing journey. And you weren't going to do it through surgery. For me, it was first birth control is what they were trying to, put me on. I was like, but y'all don't really know what it is. So I rather go through the surgery so you'll know exactly what's going on. If I have this large cyst on my right ovary, like, let's go in and see, give me the information, and then I'll direct and guide what I want to do. And so when they did have that surgery, what they thought was going to be like a smaller issue or a quick 1 hour surgery ended up to be a 4 hour surgery because it was so much going on. But I was grateful
Mm,
that they went in and did what they needed to do because it gave me enough information to be able to do what I'm doing now. And that's being on an intentional healing journey and not taking life for granted and treating every single day as a day that I need to
mm,
show up for myself, to love myself and continue to heal myself. Because there's not a destination with healing, it's a journey. And so I'm grateful you had that knowledge, and I know you talked about it before with me about like your mom exposing you to like Queen of Afua. So you've had healers and natural holistic ways being embraced within your family, within talks and dialogues. You all might not have been like living the top life when it came to that or implementing all of that all the time, but it was enough for you to be aware as a child to say, I'm throwing up for 24 hours. I'm having these horrible
mm-hmm.
cramps. Oh, it's the dairy. Like, not everybody's going to say it's the food. They're going to automatically think something is wrong with you and then look to the medical system to tell you what's wrong and just say, oh, well, I have this condition. I'm going to just do what they tell me to do versus what am I doing? And I love that you kind of ended on that point. You're the common denominator in all of this. So, what are you doing or what aren't you doing that is either helping or hurting the situation that you're currently in? And what can you do in regards to being more aware? And you talked about books. What can you do to be more aware of what's actually happened, to actually do something about how you're feeling and what's really going on? So I'm all for going to the doctor to get the information about what's happening in your body, what you can't see, so you can make those informed decisions. You went from 8 to 4. So you know what you were doing was working. And
Right.
it wasn't just food. What else did you do to help your body on this healing journey start decreasing, breaking down things that was going on the inside now that you were aware for these two doctors that told you what was happening? What else other than food was a part of your healing journey?
Oh man. Two things. Could I take a quick water break because I've been drinking juice and I gotta go pay the water bill.
You
And
sure
I could
can.
come back and answer your question. Can I take a
Yep, go ahead.
2 minute break? So I was there's a list of things. So I feel like there's always room to grow. Like I said, working multi-dimensional with self. I was entertaining myself with YouTube a little bit because at the start of the journey, YouTube existed, but it wasn't as big as like YouTube University now, where everybody's teaching tapping in. So I was able to read some books. My mom introduced me to the one a lot of women know about, especially dealing with womb issues, is Queen of Fu was a sacred woman. Yeah, sacred woman. I read that a little bit. I was going to different meetings. Um, I was sitting down trying to figure out um, what it was outside of food, what the connection was, or if there could be connections outside of food with people, because a lot of my friendships, or I'm gonna say even ships, they shifted uh once I, again, changed the food. So my mindset started changing. I wasn't seeing stuff like people were seeing. I stopped drinking. So I wasn't on the party scene. I was tapping in with, once my grandmother transitioned, I'm very spiritual. She definitely showed me, she was one of the first who was like, I already had, I'm sorry, I'm jumping around, getting excited. I already had the intuitiveness with spirit side, but being taught growing up that you're making up stuff, or this is witchcraft, all these type of things, you start to move away from that. So as a child, I was phased out of it because I was seeing people and hearing them, but I was just like, yeah, nah, you a ghost because you made up type energy. But I started tapping in further with my spiritual side, more so for my grandmother, um, and knowing that I could rely on them to help me get through these changes, because I felt so isolated with doing this. Because even at this point in my journey, even with everybody making changes, they're not making them drastically like me. So in my household, I was the only one grew up. I was the left-handed one in my household. So that alone right there was, I guess, something to prepare me for what I'm dealing with now, where it's a lot of isolation. But I've learned now that through isolation, you also grow. What darkness seems like is evil is actually to help you strengthen yourself, like a seed in a plant. You put it in the dirt, and then it starts working and getting rooted and becoming stronger to something magnificent that could be one of a kind, or um, something that, although it'll uh, lose its leaves each season, it still has a strong foundation. And that is really what I started to work on after releasing all the weight, because I don't like to say lose weight because I don't plan on finding it again. But releasing this weight made me release a lot of things that were blocking me from these blessings that I had. And I'm in my last year of being 30. Yep, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I love that you talked about when you start changing your relationship with food and you start getting intentional on this journey, that your relationships start to shift. And I've seen that too. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
when my diagnosis came, or when all of these things started to show up inside of my body, or when I became aware of these things that were showing up in my body, there were relationships and situations that just wasn't healthy. And I think that we don't pay attention to sometimes those relationships with people
Mm-hmm.
or things outside of just the relationship with food that plays a role in your health, and in your vitality. So I just wanted to hit on that before you go into other things that you also
Yep.
address that came along with your healing journey, other than just with your food when you saw that decrease of your on the scan. So I just want to say that was beautiful, and I love that. In isolation, there's growth, and I definitely feel like it's okay. And I think
Thank
that's what
you.
I wanted to be able to say. It's okay to be isolated because you're growing, and all you need is you. And sometimes when it's just you, you're able to help heal you, focus on you, love you, care for
Mm-hmm.
you in a way that you've never been able to do because you never put you first. And so I just thought that was very valuable, and I didn't want you to go too far past that and somebody didn't catch what you
Mm-hmm.
was putting down, because that was on it. But go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. The Yeah, it was too many trauma bonds that but through isolation, I realized, through isolation and changing food, I realized that a lot of the bonds that I had were not what they were, like good. It was traumatic bonds, And just like how we associate when somebody transitions, oh man, this ain't nothing like on sooty pie, I gotta eat this. But why are you eating it? Because it's a connection to something that whatever you guys went through, or something, the reason why it was made. And we it's just so many, it's such a rabbit hole with food, but that could be a whole nother podcast by itself. But um for me in my 30s, literally, this is how it happened for me. I was 27, grandmother transitioned. I started to roll in the dough with being better with uh eating better and treating myself better all around. Um, and I was at a hard place in life because I was seeing a lot of people get ahead of me, and it was agging me because I'm just like, I never been in that position to be able to do that. My parents made too much for me to get financial aid to work summer youth. I didn't have those experiences growing up. So I was just like, God, what are you preparing me for? Why is everybody around me having all these rainbows all the time? I get it. We have rain and rainbows, but why is this happening? So right when I turned 30, everything in my life, it was just like a curtain just moved, like, here we go. This is what this is it. Habits. And me again, I was a foodie even when I was eating meat. Like, my father's from Mobile, Alabama. This man was feeding me everything that I could eat. My pancakes as big as my head when I was 10 years old. Okay. Um, so when I started changing my eating habits, I feel like now again having that that's so Raven moment. That's when God was just like, all right, here she go. My spiritual people was like, all right, here she go. My grandmother transition. It was like, all right, I got it, y'all, I got it. Watch. I'm gonna help her. I'm gonna help her focus because she gonna be looking for me now that I transition. This is the easiest way that I can explain it. And my grandmother was like, all right, y'all, I'm gonna be the one to be up front because she gonna pay attention to me. Y'all was talking, but she ignored y'all. So here we go. And moving that food away was one of the biggest problems for me in my career at 30. And I don't know if you ever heard of that before. You ever heard of the you ever heard of that before? Yeah,
It was breaking up, so I didn't hear it.
you heard
I
that
didn't
term
hear
before?
what
Dirty
term.
30s. Can you hear
Dirty
me?
30s, yes.
Okay. Have you ever heard dirty 30s? Right? Okay, so usually associated dirty 30s is all about being sexual and doing all this extra stuff. But for me, being an Aquarius, February 3rd, shout out to the Aquarius that watched this. Rah, rah. Okay, we'll calm down. Um, it was about cleaning up, right? It was about cleaning up my life and reversing things or releasing things, and making anew with things and becoming better with, or having a better relationship. And if you couldn't, and not even just with people, but just with anything that existed in my realm of existence that was helping me, having a better rapport with it, whether it be food or somebody. And that's how I took on dirty 30s. And I've been cleaning up my whole 30s. You heard me? And it's been a beautiful experience. Um, I incorporated, that was on the spiritual part, the herbs and things. I started incorporating more of being more of the earth. So I wanted to let, show universe that I want to utilize the land that you're helping me to live on to also help me heal. I don't want to relate to these men products that are made by the man that you made, but if I know better, I want to apply. So I literally just wrote something out today regarding this, but I take it as health as being like school. So veganism to me is, I want to say, elementary school. Then you move up to eating whole foods, junior high school, because now you're reading your labels a little bit more. You're modifying away from those vegan, highly processed things that are also taking people out. So I know better. I can't rock with the elementary school. I'm gonna look like a doofy kid in these classes, right? Forward to high school. Now we doing the high raw uh consumption. And And then now we're about to graduate and go to college and do whatever it is that we want to incorporate more herbs. So you just keep growing and keep applying. And that's literally how my journey has been for me. You can't stay somewhere for eons. And I'm just like, that's what brought me to also doing the 60-day the juicing. That's full circle for me.
Other than the juicing, and other than other things that you shifted, have you ever tried? Because I know I've seen other people with fibroids, with pcos, polycystic ovary syndrome, endometriosis, they talk about castor oil. Have you ever tried castor oil, or have you ever had any type of therapy where you tried castor oil, and do you believe that it's ever helped if you have?
That's the one thing I forgot to bring in the room with me. But yes, castor oil is the truth. But my saying is 1 + 1 is 2. Things don't work out the way you eat as well when you're doing these when you any uh medicinal type of thing to help your inner self, because you'll be counterproductive with you going out to drink, eating fried food all the time. Like you got to learn to take breaks between things, right? So the castor oil pack is definitely a game changer. We do. I had when I used to have my colonics in Brooklyn, my hydrologist. Is that what they call them? Hydrotherapist? I can't remember what the correct term is, but the person who do the colonics, not a colonoscopy, a colonic. I put her on about what was going on with my body, and she started schooling me about castor oil and the castor oil pack and making sure the castor oil is pure. And the old school way is having a flannel, and you put the flannel in like a container, and then you would pour the castor oil and let it seep in, and then you'll put the so like it would be here in the womb area, right? And you would wrap yourself with saran wrap, and then you have a hot water bottle that you fill it with hot water, and you lay down and keep it warm for about 40 to 45 minutes. That's the old school way. But now they got these flannels where you can reuse them and repurpose them on Amazon. So if you put up castor oil pack, you search it, you'll see it. I mean, I could run and go get it, but I should have did that when I went to the bathroom. Damn, Gina. Um, so I would put the castor oil on it, and then it's a pin. Um, it's a pin on it or buttons on it that you could just walk around with it on you. Um, and you lay down, do the same thing. Lay down for a good 45 minutes. So what I do is I'm gonna show you with the I'll show you with my phone. So let's say this is the hot water bottle, right? So first I'll lay it across my womb like this, right, for 10 minutes. And then I'll angle it like this. And then I'll just keep going straight up and then angle it again and then come back here the last 10 minutes. And I'll speak to my womb. I'm speaking life. Um, and then sometimes it's I can feel the castor oil really penetrating inside when it's warm. And it's been a game changer along with everything that I've been doing. It's been a game changer. And the reason why I know that I'm at the point that I'm at um, with the changes going on in my body. So, um, castor oil is the truth. And you do the castor oil packs. I do 3 days on. Hmm.
3 days on. That's what I was going to ask you. I was like, so how often do you do the castor oil pack? So you do your rotation 10 minutes. Are you doing that for like 30 minutes at a time? Are you going to sleep with it on? And then I was going to ask you, how often are you doing the castor oil? Because I've seen a lot of people do it. I've tried it before from someone else who told me they've seen it like on TikTok, but I really wasn't sure exactly how to do this. So when you talked about having that hydrotherapist and them intentionally showing you how to utilize the castor oil in the proper way to really benefit from it, I was like, you gotta go in on that. So how long again? And then how often are you doing the castor oil packs?
Okay, so 40 minutes at a time, and I would do the increments of 10, that rotation of 10. Some if it depends on, whatever the ailment is. I don't want any I don't want to focus on one area and then things shift over there. I want the heat to go everywhere. So you go, the only way out is exit. Bye, exit. All exits fine. You gotta go that way. And I'll do 3 days on, 3 days off. So like tonight is second day of my another 3-day segment for me. And the only time that I do not do it, which is also in YouTube University, and also what I've learned from my elders, is when you have your period. So you should not be doing it then when you have your cycle. You shouldn't be doing it utilizing castor oil when you're pregnant. But you do your continue to do your research to confirm all of these answers on the back end, maybe from a holistic doctor. I wouldn't necessarily check in with a white jacket because I just don't. Holistic people, tap into them if you want to get a confirmation after doing your own research. But 3 days on, 3 days off. Sometimes I'll do 2 days on, 2 days off, depending on what I got going on.
Okay. And I love that. Thank you for sharing. That was big. I really wanted to get in on that, and hopefully that schools some people to really get a better idea how to utilize the castor oil, because some people, like you said, some people say it's the truth and it definitely gets out, but being intentional on how you're using it, and with that heat, that's a big thing when it came to heat. I didn't even do it with heat, let alone a hot water bottle. And in my mind, I was thinking I could do it with a heating pad, because sometimes I like that heating pad structure. And then when I think of a hot water bottle, if it's plastic, I'm trying to move away from plastic and not have plastic consumption, or, so I'm trying to get rid of those for the endocrine disruptors when it comes to plastic. But when you said that, I do have the thing from Amazon. I can put a good heating pad on top of that. But a good thing that you said is you were speaking life as you were also going through with that to help bring power to the treatment that you were giving. And I love you. So thank you
Hmm.
so much for sharing that insight. So getting into our last two questions, and I really love that you kind of hit on this earlier about dairy and the horrible cramps
Hmm.
that you were experiencing as a child. So this question goes to like girl dads or father figures for young women that potentially grow into who you are and being in a supportive relationship, probably with another female or a female that experiencing these types of issues. What advice would you give to them in regards to supporting menstrual health and being aware of what roles you can play in regards to making that a more positive, cleansing experience, conversation, and bond?
How a dad can deal with the daughter with the healing
How dads can
experience,
be
right?
more part of the conversation and the relationship when it comes to menstrual health or issues regarding period health.
Okay. Um, well, I think that, men, they know many years ahead of time before the child know that they're a girl, uh, what to prepare for when they plant the seed, right? Um, I would I would tap in as early as that point, because men, majority of them be nervous Nancy's when it come to talking about anything. But now I see a lot more men being more comfortable, but I still feel it's some type of gray area of nervousness there. Um, but to be informed, because we never know when anybody's going to transition, and your child may be discomfortable with talking to you and mom about their private, and to send a child outside to talk to somebody, or to sit down and read a book and just have them rely on that, you're opening a whole case of worms, because guess what? Somebody gonna lie to them and then tell them, oh girl, you gotta do X, Y, and Z to do X, Y, and Z, and that's not the truth. So even if it's a hard truth to accept, I would prefer to be that parent, that dad, to be the one to deliver it to you because I don't want no boy telling you. I damn sure don't want um but just to be informed is the best way to or educate yourself. And then also as a child gets older, to start the question asking early so then now they could get used to it. Don't wait till they are 13. Hey, where you going? What you doing? No, start them at 6 and start engaging in those conversations because here's the thing in which I appreciated being a teacher, right? Was people say, oh my God, you could deal with children so much. I mean, so well. How do you do? I said, let them talk. You let them talk and they will tell you stuff. Let them talk. And they'll be like, oh, they rambling, they talking too much. But the rambling starts to turn into some serious issues sometimes. And guess what they're going to confide into? They're going to confide into the person that let them talk and ramble when they were younger. Because it may not be important to you, but talking about crayons is important to them at this age. So now when they turn 6 and 8 and 10, they're going to be able to talk to you about other stuff because they're going to remember you let me talk about this here. And I really think from my experience working with children, that's legit truth.
It is, and I'm a teacher as well, and I think having that trusted adult. So to me, um, in regards to how girl dads could show up or father figures and with anyone who might be experiencing issues around menstrual health, is to be a trusted person. Be a trusted person that is willing to just
Yeah.
listen from whatever moment that you have.
Yep.
And then I kind of want to talk about it because you actually had a father figure in your life. You had your dad because you talked about him making those pancakes at the size of your head. You know how what did it look like for your dad with supporting you when you had to go through this 24-hour nausea, vomiting before your period, when it came to realizing that there was an issue? Like, what role did your dad play in provide being a visible, vocal support for you during that time, as a young person experiencing terrible cramps?
Um, so my dad is like a Bernie Mac, right? Think of Bernie Mac, the comedian. Um, he is like him. He is a true Southerner, but he's been in New York for more than half of his life because I think he moved up here when he was like 20 years old. He's 70, he'll be 73 in October. My dad is like a Bernie Mac 2.0 when it comes to talking. It's just like he does not know. He's very domestic, crack of dirt, because the old school folks didn't let you sleep in bed back then. So he know how to go outside and pick a fruit. He'll do a bunch of stuff, right? So he's very domestic and has his the femininity parts in those areas, know how to take care of a house, but he does not know how to be tender. So he's unlearning things now as I'm learning and unlearning with him. And while having my cycle, he would be loud. He'd be like, "What's going on? Why you in that bed today? You got that your thing came again? It came? Oh my God. Oh my God. Here we go. She gonna be throwing up all night. She gonna be sick. She gonna be crazy. Oh, he just be so like he don't know how to be calm. I'm like, Dad, shh, just calm down, please. Shh. So he tried to do his best, but he was just always loud and rowdy. And he would think everything will cure my stomach. He's like, "Hey, you hungry?" I'm like, "Dad, I told you I got cramps. I don't want to eat." He get pissed off because now here we go back to this conversation of having that relation with food. Me turning away from food was disrespect to him because he's like, "Oh man." I'm like, "Dad, I cannot eat. I'm going to throw up. Did you see me throw up 2 times already?" So like him seeing it, having a visual and seeing it repetitively month after month, he knew that now around my period, don't cook for me. So he started to learn that. He never really correlated paid attention to the details like my mom did with me moving away dairy and me changing up stuff, stop my cramps. he would just know. And I was laying in bed and it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon and the door was closed. He said, "Oh shit, I know what time it is. The child got her cycle." So he paid attention to the best of his ability. That's what I can say. Um, and he was the food cure all type guy. And, that was his lesson to know that no food would do justice for me around it.
I got you. Thank you for sharing. All right, last question. If you could have a meal with any historical figure, who would it be and what would you all eat?
Hmm. Well, it would be, dang, why gotta be one person? Come on, I can't have a table of people.
You could. Go ahead. You can have a table.
Um, it would be my grandmother. Um, it would genuinely be my grandmother. I would definitely she's historical to me. Um, and I know a lot of people tend to separate historical and celebrity from themselves, but I feel like you and I are celebrities. We are historical, we are famous, and there's just we're all we just all have different jobs and we're in different spaces on this earth. So I never diminish myself, and I hope you don't either. So my grandmother is historical because I wouldn't be here without her. And I would update her and like would love to, hear her how I'm hearing you because I do hear and see her, but it's different, tapping in that way. Um, but having a conversation about all her great grands that are here. Um, what am I going to do? What now? The food we're going to eat in the midst of these conversations is things that she's familiar with because now that I'm back to the drawing board with whole foods and not eating the necessarily vegan stuff, she can actually relate to what I'm eating. Um, and I will show her. I'll be like, "Grandma," and now you're going to see and taste the difference and see that it's going to be better for you. And now you could go home and make this for granddaddy, and then y'all be better and on y'all way. Um, yeah, I think it would be a teaching and student moment. So it will be me learning and her learning. We'll have our teacher student moment and have our bonding moment and work it out from there. And just continue to reflect while we're eating life and be happy.
Okay. So what's on the plate though? What's all on the plate of those whole foods specifically? What's on that empowered plate as you talk to your grandma?
Oh, okay. You want me to really go technical with it?
Yeah,
Got you.
we really want to see the plate. We want to know what we're eating while
Okay.
we're vibing
Ah,
out with your grandma.
okay. So it's gonna be okra. We're
Okay.
gonna do some okra, some whole okra. Um, we'll do purple and green cabbage because I'm a texture person, so I want that instead of having the old school version of the rice and peas because the rice that they give us now is like genocide to me. So I like either I will have wild rice or quinoa with um, some type of maybe chickpea. Maybe a chickpea or even a black eyed pea is fine. One of her favorite peas, right? Because I want to still have something that she could connect to. Um, and some smothered and grilled mushrooms.
Mm.
So the texture and the taste will be different for those experiences as well. So no fried anything. It'll just be a plate of stovetop sauteed, maybe the oven to crisp some things, broil some food or something. But that's gonna be it. And then if we have dessert, we will have um what is it something that she like? Some type of I think we'll have two desserts because I don't know, some type of cake or something, maybe a raw little single size. um those muffin tin cakes where you don't have to overdo it. So you have just enough of maybe like something like a raw cheesecake. And we can make that together as well. You know, the layered ones with the dates at the bottom. You have whatever nut butter you want in the middle and somebody's razzle fruit dazzle on the top. Yeah, that type of energy.
And what y'all drinking?
We are going to drink a great mocktail since I am no longer an alcoholic or into being a bartender or making the beverages that poison us. So I would do a mocktail with some date sugar on the rim of the glass. Um, and then we will have some fresh pineapple and ginger juice in a wine glass to or flute glass actually, flute glass, and we'll have that.
That sounds really good. That sounds really good. My mouth kind of watered over that drink. I like that. I like that. I would want to try that. Okay. All right. Well, man, Marisha, I appreciate you really coming through and just providing your story, your journey, your insight, and just vibing with me. Like, I really appreciate it. I'm grateful that you were able to go through those 60 days of juicing. And then I think after the 60 days of juicing, you went into grapes. And I don't even know where you are with it right now. If you're still on live foods, raw foods, or if you've even had any cooked food since you've been doing it. Not quite sure how it is, but it's no rules to this thing. It's just what your body is guiding you through and what you want to do for your body. So I'm just grateful for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let everybody know where they can find you, connect with you, and what you have to offer.
Piggyback, but I want to veggie back on what you just said in regards to my grape journey. Today is day 14 of my fruit cleanse of seeded grapes and my juice. So I have not had any cooked food or anything raw, live raw since January, since December of last year. So I'm still vibing high, electrical over here. You can, if anybody is watching and interested, find me on the social platforms of Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Um, YouTube is Marisha Embody Fitness MBF, how you see here on the screen. On Instagram is Embody Fitness MBF, as well as Facebook. I do not have, my email is Embody Fitness. Let me look at my phone because I got like 5 emails. Hold up. Um, it is Embody Fitness, the number 10 at gmail.com. And what the heck is my number? Hold on. Sorry. And my phone number is 917-830-3763. But you could definitely reach out to me on these platforms and let me know what's up if you're on this type of journey, if you're thinking about starting, or if you midway, you need some type of encouragement. I'm here and live and direct. I'm going through one right now. So I'm still currently moving through, cleaning the lymphatic system. And I do look forward to eating some live and raw other fruits. That's what I'm gonna. I'm craving coconuts and coconut meat, young coconut. So that's what I'm going to tap into April 1st. And yes, I thank you for this platform for helping me break through the ice on doing a podcast. So and then listen, this is me following my assignment, being able to talk about what I want to talk about because I'm juiced. And this brought me here to you. So all praises to the Most High.
But I really appreciate it. And y'all, all of Marisha's stuff will be in the description of this video. Y'all, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Empower Plates, Empower Lives. I'm your healthy habits and lifestyle coach. I help women experiencing issues like endometriosis, polycystic ovary syndrome, reduce chronic pain, eliminate stress, and reduce as much as possible um, irregular and heavy periods, y'all. So come vibe with me. All of the information is in the description of this video. Link up. But most importantly, thank y'all for vibing with me. Remember, it's your journey. You do what you feel led to do to heal. Just keep loving yourself and know that everything you're doing either hurting or helping whatever situation you go through. So continue to vibe high. We love you. Be easy. Be well.